Welcome back to Walt Disney World Photo Updates. I'm Kevin Yee. Let's get going in Fantasyland, where Dumbo is starting to take shape. You can see some of the familiar Dumbo colors and that new Dumbo style in the background, as well as the train station, which looks just fantastic. It looks like it's something straight out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So that part of Storybook Land Circus looks pretty good. Looking now at the rest of Fantasyland, they've got even more work happening on the front of the facades here, as well as on the Little Mermaid ride to the side. Some more of the caverns are going in on this side. And then in front, this bridge has been here a while, but the railing is kind of new. Outside the main gate, we've got the DVC expansion next to Grand Floridian, and you can see they're pushing into the bay there a little bit, obstructing the views from the wedding chapel, so they've had to put up this fence and some additional foliage. And on the other side of the monorail as well, they've got construction, so the DVC will really probably be pretty large and may even straddle the monorail. Back inside the gates at the Monsters Incorporated laugh floor, this caught our eye. If you look close enough, you'll see it's a rodent. In fact, a couple of mice inside the laugh floor sign. No big deal, just a little interesting to see a mouse in the Magic Kingdom. The romance sequence for Magic Memories and You, the castle projections, has started this past week, and it's seasonal overlay, just like they did with Christmas. It starts with the Lady and the Tramp, and here are silhouettes of the Lady and the Tramp, and you can't see it very well here, or in fact live when you're looking at the castle. This is followed with some of the typical photos from people throughout the day, and then the castle takes on this kind of stylized look with ivy and roses, and it kind of grows more ivy and roses as the next sequences go. Now what's going on here is they're projecting a stained glass scene here at the front, and you can't see it very well unless you're quite close. It'll take you through the various Disney movies, and so here's another one here, until you get to Beauty and the Beast, and all the while the castle's been changing. One thing that is different is they're no longer putting that sheet in the front of the castle here, and so it becomes a little harder to see what's going on. The reason that sheet is there is that there are all these crenellations in the castle itself, and this part of the castle, that make it something a little bit less than optimal as a projection background. Then there's this effect where the blue kind of erupts and spreads out across the castle, leading to the finale scene of this sequence, which is the lanterns from Tangled. It ends with a star, as if the whole thing were having to do with wishing upon a star. I'm going to give you a couple of photos of the firehouse on Main Street, where the patches have come back. In fact, they promised that the firehouse patches would come back for once this shop was converted fully into Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom distribution area, and indeed the patches are now back where they belong and where they began. Past this, just to kind of point out that it is tour season here at the Walt Disney World Parks to see a lot of Brazilian tour groups. This photo isn't anything new, but I thought it was an interesting reflection of one monorail in the other monorail's windows. Over in Epcot at the Liberty Inn, this is a restaurant I have not been to in quite some months, so I'm sure it has been here for quite a while. This is a coloring station quite low to the ground near the condiment cart. But I thought it was an interesting touch, not something that most of the restaurants have, a place just for the kids to curl up and enjoy themselves with coloring, but it was a good thing to see. Now, in the spot in Epcot's Innoventions, which used to be Don't Waste It, the trash can themed experience, or trash truck themed experience, and opposite Sum of All Thrills, they've got these cartoons up now for Habit Heroes, and you can see from the initial cartoon looking, comic book looking shot that we had there, that they're aiming for a certain kind of feeling, an action feeling here. Everyone gets issued one of these bracelets, and you wear just your own color. That's showing you what all the 4 colors are, and you wait in this little waiting area that kind of has the look feel almost like Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure. It's kind of a fake set. And then you go inside of what appears to be an antique gym, a gymnasium, and trophies that are 100 years old, they tell us. And then next to this vault here, you have the screen, which shows some old-style workouts and really laying emphasis on fitness. Then we come to these folks back in the modern era, or I guess the future, who are monitoring fitness levels throughout the country and using these kind of touch screens. It's all kind of weird. and they are responding to them and deciding that they need to do something about today's youth who is not active enough and eating the wrong kinds of foods. And the message is really very much like you would see in Lazy Town, that show that is that features characters running around and doing lots of activity, and that's what they make you do. So in this first room, there are these stations, as you can see, one for each of the color lanyards you might have, not lanyards, bracelets you might have. And if you're, let's say, the red bracelet, what you would do is see a spot where there's a red screen falling or a red monitor falling, run to a console near it, push the red button so it would zap the red ones, and you would only worry about the ones that are of your own color. Then in the second game, it's basically Toy Story Midway Mania. As you can see, there's two sides, a daytime side and a nighttime side. And what we're doing is zapping food. This is bad food for you, that is. And the hosts kind of urge us on. And we launch things like blueberries or broccoli and carrots at the various kinds of desserts and bad food for us. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and they don't really explain why we're doing it or what good it is to switch back and forth between the blueberries and the carrots, let's say. Nor do they really show you much of a score. Now the last room here, I'm giving you an overview first before we step inside. Everyone takes their position on one of these pads, and then we're doing workouts. So it's aerobics, and I'm just going to zoom in here for a little bit on what Callie says. Time to get that junk out of that trunk, drop it low, feel the burn. And yes, they are having you do these kinds of aerobics activities, making the fat guy move around if we move enough. And so the disco lights come up and everyone's supposed to be moving around. I gotta say, in our group, not everyone was doing the moving around, but eventually the fat guy was knocked out the back wall and lost some weight, one assumes, and we are now habit heroes, and we empty out the other side, ready to upload a photo of ourselves. This part's not yet open. I thought I would show that Duffy is for sale still in the parks for $30, but if you go to the Prime 1 outlet stores, these are the ones over by Festival Bay on iDrive, you'll find the same Duffys for sale for $10. There's also a Valentine's Duffy for sale back in the parks. We were in Norway. I thought I would grab a couple of photos of the t-shirts here. It seems like every time I turn around now, there's new themed t-shirts at every stop. It being Super Bowl weekend, there were some Super Bowl themed or some football themed Vinylmations for sale. And then this Vinylmation packet looked kind of new to us. Theoretically themed after all the parks, I didn't really get it. And the price tag for your 4 Vinylmations and 1 miniature Vinylmation, $99. Couple of books I hadn't seen previously for Small Worlds. This one has the touching textures for little, very tiny infants, and this one for slightly older kids. Both themed on Small World, as well as this one, which includes the CD. I quite like that they'll have attraction-specific books and products for sale. $4.95 will get you any one of these numerous kinds of antenna toppers, and since I was here killing some time, truth be told it was raining outside, and I didn't have my umbrella, I thought I would take photos of all the various kinds of antenna toppers for sale at Mouse Gear in the Epcot Future World area. I thought this was the most inventive of them, the Cinderella coach. And then that brings us to the end of yet another week, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks as always for your attention.